coming in here, and we should see a play button, hi-hat, 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 kick, 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 snare, snare, snare. So the goal is going to be when we're done, bar of color, move across in time. And then when it's the first beat, we'll be on column 1. When it's the second beat, we'll be on column 2. Third beat, column 3. Okay? And each row represents a different instrument. So the first row is the hi-hat. The second row is the kick drum. And that last row is a snare drum. Okay? So what I've done is I've downloaded the file. I'm going to go over the way these audio tags are working. Okay? So whenever you see audio tags, there's actually always going to be an option to see the controls manually. So here I have my hi-hat. It's going to have a source tag inside of it that links it to a particular audio file. If you ever want to play these manually, you can just type the word controls inside of the audio tag, and then when you run the code, you have that option there. Okay. So if I type controls in all of these guys, I'll see 3 sets of controls. Okay, so those are my 3 different sounds. So try this on your own system. Try to make those sound bars appear. Give it a shot. So if you want to make these disappear again, I'm just gonna highlight these all with Command D and get rid of my controls, and boom, they're gone again. Okay, so you can play the sounds. Now that's one way to play the sounds. Another way to play the sound here is using JavaScript. We go over to our JavaScript file. So what we want to do is set this up so it goes through and plays these sounds from JavaScript. So there's actually a method in here, and just here we go. Use .play. So .play and .pause, if you have the element, will actually play the particular thing that you want to play, if you can find that. So if you take a look at the index.html, we've given each one an ID. So if you find the element by ID and you .play, then you can play the sound. So here we have a few different functions. Okay. Our first goal is we're just going to read the code and take a look. So let's go through the whole thing. We have highlight. Looks like that's going to be like our bar of color that moves across the screen. It has some logic in here. If it's playing, do something. It looks like this sets the column, and then if it's playing, do something else. Okay, so deselect all. This function looks like it's going to be making sure nothing's highlighted. And then play select is actually going to highlight something, and then we're going to play the sound. Maybe we'll even refactor this a little bit. This one looks a little bit busy. Okay. And then we have the column that we're currently playing, whether or not we're playing, and the play button. You can use $signs, but I just didn't use $signs in this case. And then finally we have query selector all. This is an event listener and class list toggle. We want to add a listener so that when each of these buttons gets clicked, it's going to change. Okay? Start with that. If we want to remember which buttons have been clicked, we have to use an event listener. So how do we set an event listener here? Add event listener, that looks good. L.add event listener. Okay, in add event listener, what are the 2 arguments? What's our first argument? Click. That's right, Cynthia. Okay. What's our second argument? The function. That's right. Yeah, Cynthia says we should write a function here, so we decide what kind of function we need. So I'm just going to do a fat arrow function to start. And what do you guys want to get done inside this function? So it says that we can use class list toggle. Now if we look in our styles, we'll see that we have a few different classes. We have time, time selected, and selected. So I'll tell you that time is intended to be the color something is if it's highlighted but it hasn't been selected. Then this is if it's highlighted, like it's playing that moment, and it's been selected. And this is if it's been selected, but it's not being played yet. If the element is clicked, what should happen to the element? I have a clue here, which we can use class list. So what does class list do? It should change the class on click. Okay, so let's give that a shot. We're going to say element dot class list, and we can actually use the new tool we haven't seen before, which is dot toggle. And this will toggle this class, which means turn it on or turn it off depending on if it's already there. So we're going to toggle selected. Okay, let's run that. Okay, and sure enough, I can select or unselect things.